Hey there everybody, and welcome to a quick little bonus video where I'll be showing off the footage I cut out of the primary video where I was going around killing the roots of evil and trying to get up the necessary spectral vision to see the hidden sigils on the castle here. Now, the primary reason I did not include this footage in the main video is mostly because about 3/4 of it are things we've already seen. It doesn't really cover that much new ground, and I mean the environments. I mean they're kind of new and kind of strange, but not main video interesting. Like in this case, there's this very large-looking evil root in an amphitheater, and I guess that's visually interesting, but it's not set up in a very interesting fashion. There's just a few larger enemies. And what makes it more annoying is the fact that for some reason, even though that is a very large root, it only gives us one spectral vision, which is our first circumstance of the spectral or the roots of evil only giving us one instead of two spectral vision. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not random that it does that. It just seems, I don't know, a bit arbitrary about why one gives you one and one gives you two. It's not really that much reason or thought behind it. Likewise, the second root of evil that we go after is another pretty simple one to take down, as long as you don't really try to just rush in there and take out the enemies, because there are quite a few of them. But our first real challenge of an evil root hunt is going to be our next one coming up here. Inside this very long building here, there is going to be something of a gauntlet that we are going to have to go through. First things first, though, we are going to have to get inside. And even though they do give you a melee weapon here to give you the thought that maybe you could beat the door down, sadly no. You are going to have to use an explosive, and they do give you at least one explosive bottle nearby, so you aren't going to be completely fucked if you, I don't know, happen to have absolutely no supplies while trying to do this. But yeah, this particular gauntlet here might be familiar for those that watched, I think, the second bonus video I did, where we had to go, or we could go after the first optional root of evil. And this is similar in so much as, even though it is one spot on the map, this building is going to house quite a few roots of evil. And that's going to be a benefit for us, so much as it will allow us to get a lot of spectral vision at once, but hopefully you did stock up on bullets and plenty of flammable rounds or just any type of explosive, because you're going to be in tight quarters and you're going to be against some fairly beefy enemies, and also having to deal with this wavy, gravy, distorted vision from all the roots of evil. Like, if you think that maybe just taking care of this one close by will solve these vision problems, you are sadly mistaken. Good thing is that if you are crafty, you can use the environment to your benefit. So even these big guys, as they try to get a lick in, well, they're going to have a little bit of trouble, because you're going to be ducking around corners and juking every which way but, south. So, a couple things to keep in mind as you are destroying those roots of evil is, first and foremost, don't waste flammable bullets on them. As far as I can tell, flammable bullets either require a metric shit ton of them, or they just do not work. I find that, as with most enemies, the best course of action is just a quick little puff from a, makeshift flamethrower. Does quite a bit of a number on them. And I think there are still a few more in here. I think if you use your spectral vision and just keep it held down, after a while the roots will start to show up through the walls, but just a little bit of exploration will also show you where they could be. Also, I am getting steadily better at combat, especially against the larger guys, because I found that if you manage to hit their weak spot with one bullet, you can then immediately hit them in their other weak spot while they're stunned, and they go down super, super easy. It's just good to keep in mind that, you know, don't just pray and spray with your bullets, because it's a massive waste. Yeah, with that, we have now cleared out all the roots of evil in this building. And we are at 28, so I think we just need to go after one more root of evil. Though before we do that, we want to go ahead and make sure and top off all of our supplies. Because this is still just the main save of my playthrough, so you know, we want to make sure that we are well stocked for the final chapter. Also, you might notice along with the glow sticks in the locker here that there are some road flares. I might do a bonus video showing off some of the other item combinations that I have absolutely no reason to show off in the primary playthrough. But the road flares are a part of some of those additional recipes. It's just, yeah, I don't really have any use for them. At least not that I've been able to figure out for my general playing. But yeah, our final root of evil is right nearby. And in this unassuming building here is probably going to be our largest hurdle, at least for right now, in getting the roots of evil. Because up to this point, what you've had to deal with whenever going after the roots is mostly just general basic combat situations, nothing too deadly. This spot, though, is going to be our first real introduction to, let's say, a puzzle-based root of evil. First thing, though, we are going to have to get to it. And to do that, we are going to have to plunge ourselves down into the darkness. And if you recall that little sewer level, and what was housed in the darkness and underground setting there, you might already know what we are going to have to deal with. Good thing is that they did kind of plan ahead for this, and they give you plenty of an item to deal with what's laying down at the bottom there. Just going to make some room for it. But yeah, in this box here, there is, I think, 4 or 5 glow sticks. We haven't really used those over the course of the game, just because they are a bit rare. But yeah, in the case of the insta-kill black goo, they are pretty much a godsend. Yeah, by dropping it down in the hole, that does give us a reasonably safe spot to walk, at least right off the ladder. But yeah, the main benefit of the glow stick is that, well, as it is rolling along the black goo, it will pretty much instantly kill anything it rolls across. And once it finally comes to a rest, it just leaves a big wide open path for you. So what would be a actually pretty difficult section to navigate through this black goo down here becomes kind of trivialized. But now comes the actual, I guess, puzzle portion of this. So we are given a very imposing evil, or root of evil, but it's a little bit too far away, and it is protected by a chain link fence. So, realistically speaking, we can't reach it with a Molotov, at least from where we are right now. And there is a pretty large gap separating us and the root, so we're going to have to keep our eyes open, because as we make our way around the room, the camera kind of focuses in on this panel here. And yeah, by pressing the button, it seems that it does start a weird conveyor belt along the roof there, which kind of moves around these pipes. And what I think they intended you to do is to stick a lit Molotov onto to one of the pipes and kind of have it count down and circle around back to the root there. But I think I found a little bit of a simpler way to deal with this. It's still going to involve Molotov and some, sticky Molotovs and all that stuff. So it is a good idea to make sure you have some duct tape. Though I think there is some duct tape in this area as well, so you're never really left high and dry. Yeah, first thing is first, we want to stick a sticky Molotov onto one of the pipes. And once that is in place, we want to have that pipe circle on or around behind the chain link fence there. But we want to have it kind of be off to the right-hand side of the root there, because we want it close enough to explode near the root, but we also want to still be able to throw a Molotov and hopefully set off a chain reaction by just pretty much setting off a Molotov next to the other Molotov, and, well, I think it'll work. There we go. We now have our 30 vision necessary, and we can continue on with the main storyline.